Good morning, and I too want to welcome you to our service this morning. Special welcome to those of you who are visiting with us, those of you joining us online. If you are visiting with us, we're going to do something a little bit different this morning. This is not typically how our Sunday morning would look. And since we are placing a special emphasis on the children this morning, I'm going to try to teach in that direction. And so instead of a long, boring message from Joshua, we're gonna read a story this morning, and this would be more fun probably for myself and for everyone else if we do a little interaction. So I'm gonna give the invitation for the children to come join me up here in the front two benches. Now I'll say this: I would say probably like maybe ages 4 or 5 up to 18 if you'd like. But I can't do crowd control up here at the same time. So you're going to be up here for probably 20 to 30 minutes, and there will be some back and forth interaction. It'll be a good time up here. So if you want to come join me, I invite you to come join me up here, and maybe we can sit in maybe towards like the middle in these first 2 rows. And we'll have what maybe is more like Sunday school than church, and so it'll be fun. It'll be more fun for everybody. Some people can sit on this side too, if it gets that way. You won't be so spread out, and because I'm going to sit here in the middle. Here, why don't you fill in the second row, Maddie? Tyson, why don't you come sit in the second row? Well, you can sit on the floor too. That's fine if you're going to sit there. Sure. Okay. So this morning, what we're going to do is we're going to read a story. And I know some of you have heard this story, and your parents have probably heard this story, but it's not just a children's book. The thing I love about this story is that it's a lesson for all of us at any age. And I know some of you have read this because I went and I found the copy that's in the library, and I saw some of your names in it. But this book has been special to me since I was a little boy, about your age. And this is my copy. It's called You Are Special by Max Lucado. And my mom and dad gave me this book in Christmas of 1997. Now, none of you were born in Christmas of 1997, but I would have been about 9 years old. So if you're 9 years old, I would have been your age when my parents gave me this book. And they wrote in it, and they said, "Dear Adam, we hope this book will be a constant reminder of how much we love you and how special you are to God." Now, they're my mom and dad, so they have to say that kind of stuff. But it still makes me feel good even to this day. I don't know, 20-something years later. And so hopefully it will have the same effect on you. Now, I'm going to give everyone a disclaimer here. There's something about this book, when I get towards the end of it, that it makes me emotional. So I'm going to do my best, but even as I was practicing, there's just some emotion that wells up inside of me from the message of this book that kind of just causes me to almost cry. Okay? So if I start to, I'm warning you. The pictures are going to be on the screen so that you can follow along with the images, and you'll just have to listen to me as I read it. And then, I know we're not in school anymore because it's summer vacation, but I have a few questions that I'm going to ask, and you guys are going to help me teach the adults what the meaning of this book is, okay? All right, here we go. You Are Special by Max Lucado. The Wemmicks were small wooden people. All of the wooden people were carved by a woodcarver named Eli. His workshop sat on a hill overlooking their village. Each Wemmick was different. Some had big noses, others had large eyes, some were tall and others were short. Some wore hats, others wore coats. But all were made by the same carver, and all lived in the village. All day, every day, the Wemmicks did the same thing. They gave each other stickers. Each Wemmick had a box of golden star stickers and a box of gray dot stickers. Up and down the streets all over the city, People spent their day sticking stars or dots on one another. The pretty ones, those with smooth wood and fine paint, always got stars. But if the wood was rough or the paint chipped, the Wemmicks gave dots. Can you see them giving stars and dots? The talented ones got stars too. Some could lift big sticks high above their heads or jump over tall boxes. Still others knew big words or could sing pretty songs. Everyone gave them stars. Some Wemmicks had stars all over them. Every time they got a star, it made them feel so good. It made them want to do something else and get another star. Others, though, could do little. They got dots. Do you see this? You see this poor guy right here? This guy with the dots, he obviously can't do anything special. Punchinello was one of these. He tried to jump high like the others, but he always fell. And when he fell, the others would gather around and give him dots. Sometimes when he fell, his wood got scratched, so the people would give him more dots. Then, when he would try to explain why he fell, he would say something silly, and the Wemmicks would give him more dots. After a while, he had so many dots that he didn't want to go outside. He was afraid he would do something silly, such as forget his hat or step in the water, and then people would give him another dot. In fact, he had so many gray dots that some people would come up and give him one for no reason at all. He deserves lots of dots, the wooden people would agree with one another. He's not a good wooden person. After a while, Punchinello believed them. I'm not a good Wemmick, he would say. The few times he went outside, he hung around other Wemmicks who had lots of dots. He felt much better around them. One day, he met a Wemmick who was unlike any he'd ever met. She had no dots or stars. She was just wooden. Her name was Lucia. It wasn't that people didn't try to give her stickers. It's just that the stickers didn't stick. Some of the Wemmicks admired Lucia for having no dots, so they would run up and give her a star, but it would fall off. Others would look down on her for having no stars, so they would give her a dot, but it wouldn't stay either. That's the way I want to be, thought Punchinello. I don't want anyone's marks. So he asked the stickerless Wemmick how she did it. It's easy, Lucia replied. Every day I go see Eli. Eli? Yes, Eli, the wood carver. I sit in the workshop with him. Why? Why don't you find out for yourself? Go up the hill. He's there. And with that, the Wemmick who had no stickers turned and skipped away. But will he want to see me? Punchinello cried out. Lucia didn't hear. So Punchinello went home. He sat near a window and watched the wooden people as they scurried around giving each other stars and dots. It's not right, he muttered to himself, and he decided to go see Eli. He walked up the narrow path to the top of the hill and stepped into the big shop. His wooden eyes widened at the size of everything. The stool was as tall as he was. He had to stretch on his tiptoes to see the top of the workbench. A hammer was as long as his arm. Punchinello swallowed hard. I'm not staying here, and he turned to leave. Then he heard his name. Punchinello! The voice was deep and strong. Punchinello stopped. Punchinello, how good to see you! Come and let me have a look at you. Punchinello turned slowly and looked at the large bearded craftsman. You know my name? The little Wemmick asked. Of course I do. I made you. Eli stooped down and picked him up and set him on the bench. The maker spoke thoughtfully as he looked at the gray dots. Looks like you've been given some bad marks. I didn't mean to, Eli. I really tried hard. Oh, you don't have to defend yourself to me, child. I don't care what the other Wemmicks think. You don't? No, and you shouldn't either. Who are they to give stars or dots? They're Wemmicks just like you. What they think doesn't matter, Punchinello. All that matters is what I think, and I think you're pretty special. Punchinello laughed. Me? Special? Why? I can't walk fast. I can't jump. My paint is peeling. Why do I matter to you? Eli looked at Punchinello, put his hands on those small wooden shoulders, and spoke very slowly. Because you're mine. That's why you matter to me. Punchinello had never had anyone look at him like this, much less his maker. He didn't know what to say. Every day I've been hoping you'd come, Eli explained. I came because I met someone who had no marks, said Punchinello. I know. She told me about you. Why don't the stickers stay on her? The maker spoke softly. Because she has decided that what I think is more important than what they think. The stickers only stick if you let them. What? The stickers only stick if they matter to you. The more you trust my love, the less you care about those stickers. I'm not sure I understand. Eli smiled. You will, but it will take time. You've got lots of marks. For now, just come see me every day, and let me remind you how much I care. Eli lifted Punchinello off the bench and set him on the ground. Remember, Eli said as the Wemmick walked out the door, you are special because I made you, and I don't make mistakes. Punchinello didn't stop, but in his heart he thought, I think he really means it. And when he did, a dot fell to the ground. The end. So, now it's your turn to help me teach them. Think you can do that? I think so. There's basically two character groups in the story. The first is the Wemmicks. Who do you think the Wemmicks in the story represent? Yes. The children of God? Yeah, sure. Anyone else? Yes. People in general, yeah. Trees because they're wooden? You're not wrong. You're right. You're both right. They represent people. They represent children of God. But I think in general, they just represent people. And what do these people do all day, every day? Yeah. They put stickers on each other. Now, if the Wemmicks represent people, and the people go around putting stickers on each other every day, is that something that we do? Do you guys go around putting stickers on each other every day? Do your parents go around putting? No. No, not in the sense that we actually put stickers on each other. But what do the stickers represent? What were the stickers? There were two kinds of stickers. Yeah. Stars and dots. How did you get a star? Lucas. Yeah, you did something good. What else got you a star? Yeah. You were talented. What else? What's that? You knew big words? Yeah. Your paint was shiny. You were a talented individual. That got you a star. Do you? So, we don't give star stickers out to people, but what do we do when we see someone who either is dressed really nicely or speaks really well or drives a nice vehicle or has a nice house? What do? Yes. We give them compliments. In essence, we give out stars. For me, I like, so some of the stars that I sometimes get, I'll let you in on a secret, because stars feel good, and it makes us feel good when we get a star, right? So when I preach really well on a Sunday morning, and people come up and say, hey, that was really a good message, star for me, that feels good. Or if someone compliments the condition of my lawn keeping, star for me. That feels really good. What are some stars that you get that make you feel good? Yes. Your teacher might actually put a star on your paper if you do really well, and that makes you feel good. Yes. When you finish a band concert and your family accomplished, that feels good. What else? Do you guys never get stars? No? Oh, okay. Well, it feels good to get stars, doesn't it? But we have to remember that there's a little bit of caution in how we view the stars, and that's kind of where we're going to end up at. But it does make us feel good. And there's nothing wrong with giving out compliments or giving out star stickers as we're thinking of the story. In fact, I would encourage you to give out compliments. If you see something good, someone doing something good, compliment them. It makes them feel good. I think it makes me feel good to be able to say something nice about someone else as well. So I would encourage you to do that. But we need to be careful that the stars, that those talents that we have, those things that people are recognizing about us, don't become the only thing that we think about. Don't become our identity or who we think that we actually are. On the flip side of that, so we have stars and we have dots. How did you get a dot? Yes. By doing something bad. What else? Yes, Ruby. If you fell, yep. If you do something silly. If you can't jump high, yeah. Your paint chips. One more. Lying? Yeah. So if you can't, it's basically the reverse of all the reasons why you get stars. If your paint's not pretty, if you can't jump high, if you can't speak well, that's how Wemmicks got dots. And as much as stars make us feel really good, how do dots make us feel? Sad? Bad? 2 thumbs down? Yeah. It doesn't feel good. And you know what? As much as stars make me feel good, and I get stars from people on occasion, and I welcome that, but I've also gotten some dots too. And you know what? The thing about dots is, I tend to remember the dots that I've been given by other people a lot longer than I remember the stars. And to illustrate that, when I was about your age again, a little older, I think maybe I was probably in middle school, somewhere around that age, I can still remember to this day, something like 25 years later, a dot that someone gave me. I'll let you in on another little secret about myself. The one thing that I dislike about how God made me the most is the size of my nose. I think I have a big nose. And I probably growing up never really thought about it before. But one time when I was in middle school, I can tell you exactly where I was. I can tell you who it was, but I won't. Someone made fun of the size of my nose and the shape of my face. And you know what? Ever since then, maybe not so much now, but ever since then, I was very conscious about how big my nose is and how my face is shaped. Fortunately for me, I found a very pretty girl who also likes big noses. And I'll let you guess who that is. You think you know? So, it wasn't all bad. And I've grown up a lot since then, and now I don't really care if you think my nose is big, because that's how it is, and I can't do anything about it. But I'm sure that you have things like that as well. Does anyone have like things that they've gotten dots for that have hurt them? Something person has said either about you or something that you can or can't do? No? So you guys are, well, you're ahead of me then, because the stars don't stick to you, the dots don't stick to you. We're getting to that part of the story, okay? So, we have stars and dots. The stars make us feel good, the dots hurt. If you haven't gotten any dots, I'll let you in on another secret. You're probably going to get some, and they're probably going to hurt you. But the important part is what we're going to look at next about not letting them stick. In the same way that we don't want to focus completely on the stars, that is the things that we can do well, we also don't want to allow the negative things that other people say about us to affect us too much. So, who does Punchinello meets a special woman? What is special about Lucia? Yes. The stickers don't stick to her. And why don't the stickers stick to her? Declan. Because she what? I still can't hear you, sorry. Oh, yes. Because she visits the wood carver, correct. And she visits Eli. So, enter in our second character group here. Who does Eli represent? If the Wemmicks represent us, the people, who does Eli represent? Yes. He represents God. Very good. And so, this becomes the imagery then for us. Lucia, people are trying to give her stars and dots. They want to give her good marks. Some people want to give her good marks because she doesn't have any dots and the stars don't stick. Some people want to give her dots because she doesn't have any stars and they don't stick. And the secret is that she goes to visit Eli, the wood carver. And what is special about Eli? What is it about visiting Eli that keeps the stars and the dots from sticking? Anyone know? Yeah. That you care more about what Eli thinks than what the other people giving you the stickers think. True. Yes, absolutely right. And why is Eli's opinion of us, why is God's opinion of us more important than what other people say about us is? Yeah. Because he made us. Eli made all the Wemmicks. And Eli says, I don't make mistakes. And other Wemmicks don't have really the right or the ability to say one way or the other who's a good Wemmick and who's not. In the same way that we don't really have the authority or ability to say who's a good person or who's not, who's a talented individual and who's not. The only person that can say that is God. Because why? Why can God tell us who we are? Yes. Because he made us. And he knows us. And like Eli told Punchinello, God never makes mistakes. Do you believe that? Do you believe that God never makes mistakes? Do you believe that God made you? God made you, and God never makes mistakes. So, the lesson for us in the story is the importance for us to remember, even at your age and for your parents and the old people out there, to remember is that we need to be going to Eli's shop. We need to continually go visit the wood carver. Because Punchinello wasn't visiting the wood carver. And what was happening to him? The dots were just piling up to where he didn't even want to go outside anymore. But when he went to Eli and he heard what Eli thought about him, how he was special and how there was really nothing wrong with him. He was made just the way he was supposed to be. And Punchinello started to believe that in his heart. What happened? When he left the dots fell off. So, if we're not going to God, if we're not going to our Maker and letting him speak to us about who we really are, then the stars, the good things, the dots, the bad things are going to just begin to stick to us. And that's going to begin to form who we think we are. Whether it's that I have a big nose and my face is shaped funny, or that, I'm good at mowing nice straight lines in my yard, or I'm a good preacher. Those things. I mean, yes, that's true about me, but it's more importantly than that is who God says I am. And so I need to continually, at my age, go to God. I need to go to him in the morning so that he can tell me before the day starts that I'm special, so that while I'm screwing up through the day, he can also tell me at the end of the day that I'm still special, even though I've messed up. Because that's how I feel. And a lot of times, this is the image. This image right here is how I picture myself. At the end of the day, when the customer's still not happy, when I haven't been a good dad, when I haven't been a good husband, when things seem out of order, this is how I picture myself. God holding me, looking at me and telling me, you're still special. Apart from what anyone else says, I'm still special. Why? Because he made me, and he doesn't make mistakes. I want to share this verse with you. King David was considered a man after God's own heart. But King David wasn't perfect either. But David knew how special he was to God. And he says it this way in Psalm 139, and this is what I want you to remember about yourself. David knew he was special to God, and this is why he was special. David says, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." God knows you the same way that he knew David. Before you were even a thought in your mom and dad's mind, God was knitting you together. He had a plan for you, and you're special. And God doesn't make mistakes. So no matter what anyone else tells you, good or bad, remember you're special. Now, to help us remember, I have some stickers. They're small, but you'll get the point. And they're gold star stickers. So what I want you to do is, I'm not going to take the time to give each of you a sticker, but take some stickers with you. And maybe you give one to yourself, but maybe you give some to others who also need to know how special they are to God. Not because they can jump high or lift heavy things. That's great. But because God made them, and God doesn't make mistakes. Okay? So, grab yourself a row of